In the dark corners of the internet, a new mind was studying the old motifs of evil. This is the story of the mimic killer, the elusive Copycat, who learned how to kill from the pages of history and challenged investigators to decode his disturbing tribute. Welcome to the Vault of Shadows. Dennis Rader, better known as BTK Bind, torture, kill. He terrorized Wichita, Kansas for 3 decades. Before his capture in 2005, justice was served. Peace was restored. Or at least, that's what law enforcement believed. But serial killers leave a terrifying legacy. It is not just the death, but the rituals and the motifs, a set of psychological rules that other disturbed minds can find and imitate. 3 years after BTK was locked away in a city 500 miles from Wichita, a murder occurred. It looked like a robbery gone wrong, but investigators discovered a chilling truth. The killer was learning, and he was sending a message. Who was this imitator? Where did he draw his inspiration? And could decoding BTK's dead motifs help stop a new nightmare? Vault of Shadows is searching for the killer hiding in plain sight, the one who memorized the rituals of evil. The year is 2008. David Ryland, a middle-aged civil servant living alone, was found dead in his home. Police initially concluded it was a robbery. A window was forced open and property was tossed around. Detective Sarah Jenkins, the lead investigator, noticed small anomalies. Despite signs of a ransacking, only low-value items were missing, and the detail that sent a chill down her spine. The way the victim was restrained, Ryland was tied tightly and complexly, using multiple types of cords. This was not the random work of a burglar. It appeared to be a ritual. Jenkins reached out to her former colleagues in Kansas. Analysis showed a disturbing similarity to BTK's bind ritual. It wasn't identical, but it was clearly inspired. Furthermore, Ryland was not killed by a gun or knife. He was strangled with a cord, mimicking BTK's kill. The imitator didn't need to be perfect. He just needed to leave enough clues to say, "I learned from the best." Jenkins realized the killer wasn't just copying the method. He was copying BTK's psychology. BTK loved control and self-expression. In the Ryland case, Jenkins found a small piece of paper tucked into a bookshelf containing meaningless numbers. Forensic analysis confirmed it wasn't the victim's handwriting. The investigation team discovered that these numbers were the coded date and approximate time of one of BTK's lesser-known murders. This was the hidden motif. The copycat didn't want attention through famous cases. He wanted to speak privately to the investigators. The numbers mapped the 2 cities together with a thin line. The imitator understood that BTK often tried to communicate with police, mocking them. With these numbers, he was doing the same, but more subtly. He was challenging them. Do you speak the language of the killer? Months later, 3 more victims appeared in 3 different cities, seemingly unrelated. A female college student, an older veteran, and a high school teacher. Each case shared the signature, intricate binding techniques and a method of strangulation or asphyxiation without weapons. The killer was perfecting his style. The inconsistency in victims baffled the psychological profile team. BTK typically targeted families. This imitator was random. Jenkins noticed a new motif unrelated to BTK. All the victims shared one small commonality. They lived near a public library or a post office. These were locations BTK frequently used to send letters or engage with the community. The killer was not just learning how to kill, he was learning how BTK communicated. He was mimicking BTK's public presence, but through victim selection, he was trying to become a normal part of society, just like Dennis Rader. The investigation team decided to revisit the cryptic numbers from the Ryland case. They weren't dates, they were coded coordinates. When decoded, these coordinates pointed to a specific Aryan abandoned house in the suburbs of a 4th city. This wasn't a crime scene, but a tribute to BTK inside. They found a chilling shrine, images, newspaper articles, and journals detailing the BTK case. And most importantly, they found evidence of the origin of the mimicry motif. A close-up revealed a book on advanced knot-tying techniques. The killer wasn't just copying BT, he was improving upon him. He was trying to surpass his master. They found a personal computer. In encrypted emails, there were messages sent to an anonymous address, signed the architect, thanks to the email address and the hidden motifs proximity to libraries, not techniques. Jenkins and her team identified the copycat Michael Trent, a technology engineer living nearby who had followed the BTK case since childhood. Trent was more than a copycat. He was an acolyte who believed BTK's work had to be continued in a more artistic manner. BTK was caught because of his vanity in sending a floppy disk to the police. Trent, the architect, was nearly caught because of a more sophisticated mimicry motif, using coordinates and public locations to establish his presence. The case of Michael Trent was closed, but it leaves a chilling question. In this age of information, where archives of serial crime are so readily available, how many other architects of evil are memorizing the old motifs, waiting for the opportune moment to begin their own mimicry journey?